Hello and welcome everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for stopping by, checking out this video. Today we're going to be doing a quick one because I'm going to focus on easy boxes for a while because as I showed this picture right here, I've got 107 of the easy challenges done and I decided that I want to make a new goal for myself. I want to fill out all three categories of Try Hack Me. My goal is to try to record as many boxes as possible during this event, showcase what I learn and some things about each one if I can. So if that sounds exciting to you, or you're just curious, please subscribe. Don't forget to leave a like on the video and a comment. It really helps out a lot, and I really do appreciate all the feedback I get from everybody, both positive and the constructive criticism. I do appreciate it. It gives me food for thought. So with that, let's get into the room here. Now this one is not a box. We don't need a VPN. If you scroll down here, you'll see that we are given a little sentence here. We intercepted communication between Cypher and some 3 associates. I'm not going to try to pronounce their name. Those 3 names I've never been able to say correctly in my life. We were only able to retrieve a file. Order, get the secret key from the recovered file. So what is this? Well, if you've never done a actual CTF before, you've not done any crypto challenges, you will probably not recognize this. Here's a little hint. RSA. This is RSA encryption. This is kind of your bottom entry-level standard to crypto CTF stuff. Another way you can quickly tell if you don't have a cute little play on the names there, you want to look for P, Q, N, E, D. Sometimes this is labeled as C, sometimes they use something a little different, and especially if they give you C, and in this case, really helpful N. So if you see all these, you know you're messing with RSA. And I know some of you have been asking about like, well, what's your notes? What's your thought process? So I'm going to try to do a little bit better about showing my notes off. And for this room here, first note, all the things I just said, noted there. Note that we got an RSA algorithm. Note that we have N and C, but I did notice something. P equals get prime 1024, Q equals primo P. As a Python scripter, I'm curious about this. Well, if you're wondering, this get prime comes from this import right here, and primo is defined right there. Also, when you're doing these, if you see something like this, don't worry about it. That's just them importing a file that has the actual flag in it so the algorithm can work correctly. So all right, now that we know what this is, what are we going to do about it? Well, first things first, if you are new, I know Try Hack Me is beginning a flood of new people. It seems like every week we're getting thousands more. If you are new to RSA or into crypto in general, come check out the cryptography stuff over on geeks4geeks.org. Pretty good, not gonna lie. I will leave a link to this page. It's a explanation of what RSA is, encrypting, decrypting, stuff like that. Yes, there are ads on it. No, I do not have an ad blocker installed. I really need to do that. Bad me. And I think it does a fairly good job of introducing the topic and the concept. And what I like about them is usually when they do stuff like this, they've got code example down here at the bottom. So you have C++, you got Java, Python, and I guess because someone hates themselves, JavaScript. Now, just a quick note, if you want to try these out, make sure you use very small integers for the testing. Like if in the Python one here, we come down, we'll see that they use relatively small numbers here. Do that so you can understand the concept a little bit better. If you already are familiar with RSA, or sadly you're just one of those people that don't want to learn, what are we going to do with this? Well, thankfully there's already a tool out there, and for some reason my virtual machine is hating GitHub right now, so let me go to my normal browser real quick. So here we are on the GitHub. I will leave a link down to this at the bottom. This tool is called RSA CTF tool, as you can see right here. This is a really great tool and it's been around for a while, and I've used it in a lot of CTF competitions. If you are getting into Python, or maybe you're feeling comfortable with it and you want to look for a interesting project and you like cryptography, check this one out. It is mostly in Python. It's got a bit of shell, a little bit of Sage, and a tiny bit of Docker because they do have a Docker image for this, if I'm not mistaken. What do we do with this? Well, first we need to install it if you don't already. Now right here, they do have the way to set it up in a Python virtual environment if you like to use those. I like to be a little wild and crazy, so I'm just going to copy this last line and then back on Kali here. What you would do is you would just paste in that pipe command or pip command, or go through setting up the virtual environment and install it. If you're on the newer kernels, especially a Debian distro, make sure to do the -- break system packages. Once that install gets done, and it'll take just a little bit, it does have quite a few things it needs. To run it, all you simply need to do is type out the name like that, RSA CTF tool. If we hit enter, we will get the help menu. Takes it just a second, and just basically goes over your options with it. it. And as you can see right here, it tells you specifies the module, first prime number, second prime number, public exponent, private exponent. That's where all those come from, is the RSA algorithm right here. So all we're going to do is plug in N, since we have that, and we have E. Now what is E? Well, this right here, if you're not familiar with in Python, that's setting the variable E to a hex number. So what is that? We'll come back over here real quick and just drop down to a Python shell here. We set E equal to that number, and then we just hit E. We see it as 65537. That's the number that's going to allow us to take C, our encrypted message, and decrypt it so we can actually get the text back. So how do we do that? Well, we are going to run the tool. We're going to use the -N option. We're going to provide it in -E, provided what E is, then do the -- decrypt, and I just realized I need to make this larger. I apologize. -- decrypt and give it C, and we'll hit enter, and it's going to take just a few minutes to run. Depending on your system, it could take a little longer or be a little bit quicker. So let's type that out and then do -N. Come over here, want to highlight, Control C a copy, Control Shift V, space, -E, and remember that was 65537, and then put in the decrypt option. Come back over here, want to highlight the C variable and do Control C, Control Shift V in terminal to paste it, and we hit enter. As you can see, it's starting to run through, it's doing different tasks, and I've got a blocked out chunk here. We get our answer, you want to look for the line that says UTF-8. That will be the full string you need, and as you can see, with the output string at the bottom, they put a lot of fluff in the beginning of this. Looks like a bunch of spaces or null values to make it larger so you get a larger number. That's the whole reason for it. All right, like I said, short and simple. A nice little room to introduce you to RSA. Can be a little hard if you didn't know about the tool. And if not, you'd have to take some time to look around, do some digging. Eventually, we'd probably stumble across one of the resources like what I've used before, where it tells you how to make a decryptor in Python or in C++ and just run those. But having this tool is really good because it can handle a lot of different type of algorithm attacks, and that's what you really need to be able to do to properly decrypt a lot of this stuff in challenges. So with that, hope you found it useful. Hope you learned something today. If you did, please subscribe and leave a like. I've had a blast having you here as a guest. I'll catch you next time. Take it easy.